Hi everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. It is a whopping inaccurate 19 degrees right now. That's always wrong. Usually this time of day it's kind of right. But yeah, I looked up on, well, there's a lot of wind, so I'm sure it's wind chill way colder than 19 degrees. But I think it said it was 22. We're going to have a 20-degree temperature change today. This wind is supposed to be bringing in some warmer weather. The sky last night was so odd, and there's clouds there now, but cold as heck. So the battery died while I was filming out here in the garage last night. So we're coming out to check out the situation. We've got the breaker off for that project. So it's going to get dark for just a second. I hate having doors open with wind blowing. It drives me crazy because then it just comes right in and gets you just like you're outside. So all this project got wrapped up. It worked out really good. He did the test with the lights. It's super bright. He's got the main breaker off. I don't want to mess with it right now, but let me show you what I did. Okay, so this little contraption is called Walk the Plank. And basically, the idea is a rat or a mouse is supposed to climb up the plank. Now, a rat can jump out of a 5-gallon bucket, so you need something bigger like a 15 or a 30-gallon drum. Even kegs from used motor oil or anything like that work well. My husband used to do this in his shop, and a viewer had recommended it to me a long time ago when I started buying these bait blocks. Now, if I just scatter these around in the shop, they can get carried away by larger critters. I had mentioned in the past possums and raccoons are immune to this. And with that hole in there, you can put a wire right through there and attach this to like a PVC pipe so that a little mouse has to crawl in the PVC pipe to get it, or use a bigger one for rats. This does work on rats. It works on voles. It probably works on moles too. So let's see what we have here. You're supposed to be able to put grain in the bottom of the bucket, and they'll go out on the little post in the middle. And this is a driveway marker made of fiberglass with a PVC sleeve over the top. And this was all scrap material that I had here. I put this together in less than 5 minutes. You can use a drill or a nail to poke holes in the sides of the buckets. And then I just grabbed these long 1x4s that I had sitting around and made planks. So I decided some people add peanut butter to the middle, and I had just about ran out of a jar of peanut butter. So I brought the leftover that was in the bottom of that jar before I cleaned it to recycle and smeared it on the middle of the PVC pipe. So let's get a little closer. Now I do want to say a mouse can jump out of a 5-gallon bucket. They're going to wear themselves out doing it, but it's not as likely. So I have found 5-gallon buckets in our barn with mice trapped inside. You can kill them, you can drown them, you can give them a bait block, and they'll poison themselves. A lot of people say don't buy the poison thing, fill the bucket with water and let them drown. Either death is going to be a miserable death. So, you know, it's too cold to fill the bucket full of water. It was 17 degrees when we left the barn last night, and I think it got down to 15. In the past, what he's done is put a little bit of fuel in the bottom of the bucket, and the fumes basically just knock them out, and then they die. Let's see if any mice got trapped in here last night. No mice in here tonight. Well, they might have got out. I don't see any little prints on our I don't see any evidence of any mice here. There's no poop in the bucket. So what I'm going to do is leave a poison bait block in there, and maybe during the day we might catch some. Now, I've got bait blocks all over the garage. Now, we kind of had a family bet last night going whether there would be mice in the bucket or not, and everyone kind of called out their number of how many mice they might find. Well, a lot of things in here have got gremlins in them. This old 430, he got it moved out of place. I have to show you what he did. The mice got in here and chewed up some wiring, and it doesn't want to start. So we've been playing with the relays and different things, trying to figure out where the problem is. And I think I've got it narrowed down to possibly a seat wire that goes to the starter. It's a safety trip so that you have to be on the seat for the mower to start and to run. But with these bait locks all over, I don't know how many mice kind of are alive. When we were working on the truck, there was a mouse sitting right up on there. I couldn't believe it. Well, I wanted to get the guy some of those moving dollies. We had furniture moving dollies here, and he was able to jack this up, put it on a pair of furniture moving dollies. These are a Harbor Freight special or Menards special. $10 for the pair. I wanted to get automobile moving ones, and they were $50, $60 for a pair of 2, and over $100 for a set of 4. To be able to slide this over and move it out that back door. They said, oh, don't worry about it, we'll just jockey stuff around. Well, to get to this project, we kind of have to clear this whole area to be able to drive it out the doors, and the Suburban's coming in here to get work done. Hopefully we'll get a few more mice out of the situation by adding kind of a baiting station for them, other than just the bait locks that are around. But I've got open grain that needs to be cleaned. So after the lighting project is done, I can get that grain clean and give them less feed to, live on. But we'll get to it, just like we've gotten to these lights. Last night was the last night that he had to be out here doing any wiring. We're just waiting on a call from Menards for the globe that we were short. We've gone to all the local stores. In Lansing, there are 2 Menards. There's one on the west side of Lansing on Saginaw Highway and one on the south end of Lansing off of Edgewood Boulevard. And the next 2 closest are Jackson and Ionia. And that is a long drive in either direction for us, like an hour drive. So to do a round trip to there, that's a lot of driving just for one of these. We asked them if they thought they would get restocked. They said now that their quantities, are correct in the computer, more would come in. I can order them online and have them shipped too. But there was a huge difference between the lights last night with one of the retrofit shades and a 200-watt bulb and no shade and a 100-watt bulb. Really, really a big difference. So I'll come back in here tonight. We'll check for mice to see if maybe any fall in there during the day. We've been out here a lot, and because it was so cold, maybe they were, kind of tucked in for the night. We're kind of scaring them out of here and scaring them into their hiding spots. We had, up in that loft, done some work in cleaning, and in the past I've heard mice scurrying around up there, and there's this white foam. They either put it up for light reflection or insulation or just to kind of, keep the dirt from falling through from above. And I was seeing little bits of broken insulation falling down like snow and hearing the scurrying. So I did a good sweep out job up there the other night, and we left the insulation in place just for the reflective factor. It's hard to see without the lights on. We might have to take that down, but I just assume leave it there for the reflective qualities of it. And, hopefully we'll get this mice problem under control just with that grain getting out of here. So, I had a little stroke of genius after a little time working out in the shop yesterday. It's 40 degrees today, but during the night, the temperature's been dropping. So everything that's frozen and dripping today, it's all slushy. It's going to turn to freeze again tonight. Well, you can't drown mice in a bucket of water that is frozen. They'll just get out. We were out here in the shop yesterday. Look at all this good work I did. All the grain is up off the floor. They're sealed in 5-gallon buckets or in 55-gallon drums. Hopefully the tops will stay put. I'm not sure. I'm watching them. Kind of think about putting a mouse poison bait block on the top of every container just in case a mouse does go up there. Then they'll be distracted by that treat instead of what's in the barrel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But we had a pallet of grain here. Big mistake. He kind of lost track of it. He got to the bottom. An entire bag of oats, which didn't cost a lot of money. It was like $15, but it really helped the mouse population flourish in the barn. And as you know, we're currently without any cats. We haven't had cats here in about a year and a half. We had a few cats here last year that disappeared, and we believe they either ran off or got taken by the raccoons. So we have to do what we can to keep their population down also. But I saw this sitting on the shelf. Pool antifreeze. Well, if you know a little about my history, is I do appliance repair also. And our YouTube channel pretty much started with home repairs. And I thought, well, can't you just put antifreeze into the bucket with the water, or just straight antifreeze? So I just poured a little bit of this in there because I had it on hand. We're going to try this walking plank again. I got some fresh peanut butter. And the reason I'm going to show you, I'll turn this camera around, why I knew it wasn't working. So a good trick to know if a mouse is going on this or not, I have this a little bit low because the top of my bucket, you can see, is chipped off. But this one had a really low lip at the top. The other buckets that I have gotten from, say, Lowe's and, maybe the newer buckets, they all have a higher lip on the top of the bucket, so this could be raised up a little higher. I thought this might be a little bit low, but, you know, I've seen videos where mice have done this. I'm not the first to come up with this, but it was recommended to me. My husband told me about it a long time ago. One of my husband's tricks was to know if the mice were going on this, if you can't tell, is to put a black mark or a mark of some kind on the top to know that if a mouse has gone in, if they got out or not. Well, I put grain in the bucket and a mouse poison block, and still, after 3 days, I had no dead mice. But you see that? The peanut butter is all eaten off here. They've been scratching and teething at it and everything. There's definite mouse activity there. So I got another spoonful of peanut butter. I've got antifreeze and water in the bottom of the bucket. If you wonder why the water is brown, it is because I had some rye in there. And so I dumped the rye out. And I'm sure this would probably work anywhere in the shop. And if you notice, see, I put my thing there on the side so that it doesn't interfere with my handle if I need to carry it out to dump dead mice. But this is what I used for the post, like I said, just a driveway like marker for doing snow plowing, and I was able to cut it with the handsaw. So I'm going to load this up with some peanut butter, and this is just like 3/4 inch PVC pipe. Now, I got that wet. I don't know how well it's going to go. But, boy, I tell you what, Mr. Mouse, I hate this. I'm getting mouse germs on me. Don't lick your spoon after you've done this, no matter how good the peanut butter smells, because you're touching all this mouse grossness. And anything else that came along. Could be a rat. So one of my subscribers had mentioned about leaving feed out for squirrels and birds. And yeah, you don't know what's out there. You don't know what's coming along, so it could be a rat. I'm going to see if he's got a marker here. And it's not going to work without the plank. So put that, and that's the nice thing about the top of this bucket. It's got a nice little shoulder there so that the bucket doesn't drop. And since I had 2 boards handy, I'm doing 2 because I want as many critters to go in there. So I wonder how many we might get tonight. Now, if the peanut butter gets like dry and crusty, you might want to wipe it all off and start over again. This little experiment has gone on for a couple of days. So I would think with their food supply gone here, they're going to be more prone to wanting to snack on the peanut butter that they can get to than trying to get to this grain that's a little harder to get. Of course, I just took my mouse poison to the barn. So, where? You can see I gave him a jar for all his pens and pencils. I brought them all into the house and sharpened them, and they've ended up back here again. Looks like that one's broke off. Well, maybe a pencil mark will do. And of course, because I'm putting them away, he's not going to find them later. But you see, oh, by the way, all this light, That's the two 200-watt light bulbs with their shade lamps. I went back to Menards last night and got that one. Right now, it's, it was pretty cloudy outside, but it's, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at how much light that is putting on, like this back section of the barn. You could not see here at all because that little fluorescent light just sat there and flickered and is very dim. So it would light up. They used to have a workbench back there and we ripped it out like first thing. All this was so dark because all there was that light that's not turned on and that one. And like I said, we decided to not pull there. Did you see that? Look at the light here from coming up above and behind me. Now I have even more light. Oh, see? I love it. So we were doing another John Deere shuffle yesterday, and this one has a clutch issue, and there's something wrong with the part that the race bearing is going on that he ordered. Something in the manufacturing. There's a defect. It's out of round. So we moved it from here. So I pulled the Dodge in to let all the snow melt off of it after going to the store last night. So it's really nice to finally have this lighting job all done now, so the Suburban can get pulled in here and get worked on in the cold in the winter, because I will tell you, it has been down for 5 months. And I had no idea it was going to be down for so long. It cut me short on all of my work projects because the whole family can't fit in the Dodge. Only 2 or 3 people can go at a time. And frankly, it's just a long drive, and we don't do babysitters. Where we go, the kids go. So with a large family like ours, it's impossible to go across town or to many towns over to go do any work and get it done. So that Suburban will get in here, and hopefully that'll be one of the next projects that we get started on. I hope. It's been a long winter. Jack just said today he'd like to go to the store with me if I was going to leave. And of course, I'm not leaving today. Today has been a home repair job. We have done so many home repair jobs today. We had a bad electrical outlet that everything kept coming unplugged from it. We took it apart and it was cracked in half. So that needed to get done. Murdoch and I fixed all the bath hooks in the bathroom because they were all falling out of the hollow doors because there's nothing by them. So we went ahead and did that repair together. And then when my grandson was over like a year ago, he stomped on the door stopper and ripped the trim out of the wall. So Trey and I, yet again, we're doing another job. So him and I found some unused trim in the shop up in that loft in that pile. So we put it aside for a day like today so that we could get that done. And I just got that cut so that we can get that stained and mounted on the wall to prevent another hole in the wall from the doorknob. Without the trim repair being done, that doorknob could go right through the wall again from a previous patch and glue job, trying to patch the trim job before. So we're just going to do it right this time, replace the whole piece of trim. It was just a quick get it by for the weekend sort of thing. And since it held, well, it looks ugly, but it's time to get it finished. So I'll keep you updated on the walk the plank and let you know how many mice I might catch tonight, because we know that the mice have found it. So I left it near the same spot that they were. I moved it over a couple feet because of the truck. But a fresh coat of peanut butter, some antifreeze and water, that's the trick in the wintertime. So if you like this kind of video, remember to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and look down in the comments below and I'll let you know how many mice I catch tonight. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.